Um, the government's 10-year health plan for England seeks to make the NHS, quote, the most AI-enabled health system in the world. And like others, I think that's an incredibly exciting prospect. I don't want to be dystopian, and I think the Right Reverend Prelate, the Bishop of Hereford, makes a very important point to warn us against going completely over the top. However, I do think it's important that this amendment's been tabled because it makes us think about what the possible problems are, and they've been well expressed by others. I just wanted to say that despite my excitement about what AI might do, actually even in terms of treatments, there's very wonderful possibilities in terms of helping people walk, in terms of what's happening with the brain and so on. We just don't want to be naive. So the question is just for the noble and learned Lord, as the NHS digitises, doctors become increasingly reliant on AI for notes and diagnostics. As the diagnosis is so important in a life or death situation in this instance, how can we just ensure that a time-poor doctor doesn't use AI as an assessment tool or as a shortcut? And we would be naive to imagine it doesn't happen elsewhere. We'll only have to think of politics. But I mean, people use AI now to avoid doing research in a wide range of instances. And I just don't want that to be translated over. I only just wanted to add a little bit on turning to the patients, because algorithms, which are, supremely impressive, can take things that have happened on Facebook or TikTok, or indeed whether you've been on a Teams meeting or Zoom, or all sorts of indications that can then detect chronic illness conversations, and then the algorithms can push, for example, pro-assisted dying content, such as the Switzerland adverts or positive end-of-life options. Now, the interesting thing here is that when we're discussing banning social media for under-16s, which I completely disapprove of, by the way, or we brought in the Online Safety Act, which I argued against, everybody kept saying to us, algorithms, algorithms, oh my goodness, algorithms, they can do all these things. I do at least think that we should consider, not because chatbots are malevolent, but because AI tends to agree with people via the algorithms. As somebody, to quote one Psychology Today paper, when everyone has a yes man in their pocket. So if you say you're interested in something, they'll just say, yes, here are your options. And I do think that's something to be concerned about, and it will come up when we're discussing advertising. But just then to finish with that story that in the BBC from August, in which a California couple are suing OpenAI over the death of their teenage son, alleging that chatbot ChatGPT encouraged him to take his own life. And they produced the chat logs between Adam, who died last April, and ChatGPT that show him explaining his suicidal thoughts. And they argue that the programme validates his most harmful and self-destructive thoughts. Now, I'm just saying, AI is a wonderful human man-made solution to many problems. But if we pass a bill like this without considering the potential negative possible outcomes, we would be irresponsible.